Things are not going forward, they're going backwards. Tokenism, installment will not solve this problem. We have a much bigger problem than the installment we are discussing here will solve.
Yes, my good people, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Guys, nina furaha tele zaidi kwa sababu mumenisaidia, mumenifikisha mahali ambapo nipo. Guys, I'm proud of you. Nyinyi ni watu wa maana sana. Sitawahi pata mtu mwingine wa maana kama wewe ambaye unanitazama, watu wangu. So, wewe ndo mtu wangu wa maana tu kabisa. Umekuwa ukisupport hii channel, wakati na post unanisupport. Kwa hivyo guys, mi pia mambo yangu yameanza kuwa mazuri tena zaidi kwa sababu ya support yenu. So nafurahi sana. So nimefurahi sana. Niko na furaha sana. Kwa hivyo guys, Mungu awajalie hata nyinyi. Kwa hivyo guys, kabla tuendelee guys, nataka nijue unaendelea aje watu wangu. Umeshinda aje? Jioni ya leo unaendelea aje? Umeshinda aje mchana wa leo? Utakuwa unaniambia kwenye comment section watu wangu, kwa sababu wewe ukiwa hapo watu wangu, wewe ni familia ya hii channel ya Raipenda Evans Online TV. Wewe ni familia, sisi ni familia moja. Kwa hivyo lazima nijue unaendelea aje. Utakuwa unaniambia kwenye comment section. Kwa hivyo guys, William Samoei Ruto, the president of the Republic of Kenya, wakati ambapo William Ruto alikuwa anaingia mamlakani watu wangu, William Ruto alianza mguu na njia. Marais tofauti waliweza kukutana na William Ruto, ukilinganisha marais ambao wamekuwa marais hapa nchini Kenya ambao wameweza kuretire. Unaona? Utofauti umekuwa mkubwa zaidi. William Ruto aliandikisha history kwamba ni endo rais ambaye pia alikuwa anaongea vitu tofauti, vitu ambazo marais wa nchi ya Kenya hawakuwa wanaongea. Ametembea nchi ambazo marais ambao wameretire hapa nchini Kenya hawajaweza kutembea. Na William Ruto alikuwa na make statements zilikuwa zina convince marais tofauti kwamba huyu jamaa anakuja na kitu tofauti kabisa in Africa. Na wazungu wakawa wanaingia ndani. Nchi za wazungu wakataka kufanya nini? Unajua wazungu wakijua kwamba Mwafrika ameanza kuwa mwakili, then wanatafuta venye wanaweza kutana na wewe kisha wafanye nini? Wakurudishe chini. Unaona wazungu wakawa wanataka kumiti William Ruto. William Ruto alikuwa na made statement yake. Hebu sikiza hii kwanza then tuweze kuendelea zaidi.
Not what we are saying. We are not saying that we continue to have what the taxes France is paying, the taxes Kenya is paying in the current setup. Those are national issues. We need a financial transaction tax at a global level where even countries like Kenya pay. We do not want anything for free. You will pay more eventually because you have a bigger economy. We will pay commensurate to our economy. And we want those resources controlled not by IMF and World Bank. Because IMF and World Bank, you have the final say. We don't have no say. We want another organization of equals, where you have as much say because you pay, as much as we do because we also pay. That's the organization we are looking for. And that is why we are saying we need a new financial architecture, where governance, where power is not on the hands of a few people. We can agree on the governance of the institution. We can agree on the sharing of power so that all of us have access to resources that go to making sure, number one, renewable energy. We invest in decarbonization. Number two, adaptation, mitigation, smart agriculture. Number three, restoring our planet, restoring our biodiversity, and making sure our carbon sinks work. This is what we are saying, and we would appreciate a little understanding. We want to be, we are talking the normal. If we continue talking the normal, Emmanuel, we will never solve this problem. Things are not going forward, they're going backwards. Tokenism, installment will not solve this problem. we have a much bigger problem than the installment we are discussing here will solve. You're not hearing us.
I will, if I may,
Yeah.
I will answer you in 2 words to conclude. No, but
And let me just finish one more. When Ajay was saying 1 to 5 or 1 to 1, who is 1 and who is 5? Private sector versus who is 1 and who is 5?
$5 of private sector mobilization for every dollar of money that comes in.
5 from private.
Surely, Ajay. How do you persuade the private sector to bring their money for public good? Private sector is driven by profit, my friend. I mean, unless you persuade me otherwise.
Unaona, William Ruto alikuwa anapeana tricks. William Ruto alikuwa anapeana zile story ambazo unaweza fikiria ni za ukweli. But William Ruto suddenly nchi yake ikawa ndo nchi imekuwa worse tena zaidi. Unaona, maendeleo yako chini, kila kitu iko chini. Unaona watu wangu. So and that's why unaona a professor, that's why unaona Pierre Lumumba aliweza kufanya nini? Kuingililia pale. Just listen, let tuweze kuendelea tena zaidi.
Resist, and when there is resistance, the country will pay. But I go further and ask Honorable Raila, you have served this country. You have accumulated experience over the years. You have political influence. You have individuals who voted for you. Why don't you use that capital, political, social capital, and use your members in parliament to address the issues that concern you? What are those issues? One, that the cost of living is rising to the detriment of Kenyans. Parliament can do that. Your governors can do that. The president can do that. That you lost in a manner that you consider to be unfair. Look to the future. Let us ensure that the institution charged with undertaking and oversighting election is dealt with in a manner that we don't have future occurrences. Then history will say, behold, a patriot. Behold, a selfless man. Behold, a man who sacrificed all. Behold, a man who deserves historical credit. The Honorable Odinga and his acolytes pull back. On Monday, the 20th day of March, businesses will not open in Nairobi. Responsible businessmen will not come to town. In cities and towns across the Republic where Honorable Odinga has support, there will be no activity. Billions will be lost. Some people will be hurt. The country, as I said, is on tenterhooks. The question that I ask, if a mistake is made by one of the demonstrators or one of the security forces, then there is copycat revenge spread across the country. Can Mr. Odinga and his comrades in Azimio assure this country that they have control? They have promised peaceful demonstrations. I've heard some of their foot soldiers saying there is no peaceful demonstration. Are they reading from the same script? If they don't pull back, on Tuesday, what will Kenya look like? And if they don't succeed in removing President Ruto on the 20th, and they will not succeed, what is their game plan? What is the end game? Will they go to the bush? Because there is now an army complete with uniform. Will they go to the bush? Will they attack Kenya and overwhelm us and depose this government and install another one? What is the end game? Can they build the scenarios for us before 20th? And I'm saying, let us not get there. Let us not get there. let us pull back and ask, for what? For what are we doing this? That is all we ask. Yeah. And I'm sure there are no shortage of Kenyans of goodwill who think as I do, who desire as I do. But there is also no shortage of Kenyans who are saying, bring it on. I'm telling those Kenyans who are saying, bring it on, you are wrong. And history will tell you, you are wrong. Must be burning, and you are running after rats. Let the rats run away. Let us come back to the house. Let us go to North Kenya and work with one accord for the sake of this country. There are people who can't pay school fees, people who cannot eat. Salaries have not been paid to workers in the devolved units. Yet we want to have a champagne revolution where you fly in with choppers and V8s. That is a champagne revolution. You eat caviar and eggs and sausage, then come to a meeting and tell people who have not eaten, let us invade State House. That is kamikaze, suicide. That is what we are saying is not necessary. No. I hope that by divine grace, as I conclude my letter, the ears will listen, I hope, and pray. But that is all we can do. Yeah. Sometimes when people have determined to do what they want to do, everything that you say is stupidity in their minds. Stupid. He is saying stupid things. He's been bought. I'm sure there are people watching and saying, oh, he's been bought. There are people watching and saying, oh, he's the personification of cowardice and stupidity. I prefer to be a coward for the sake of my country. I prefer to be stupid for the sake of my country. Because if we destroy it, you and me and other generations will be in heaven before Kenya is put back together, if it ever is put back together again. This is the time for Honorable Raila and Honorable Ruto to say, the message is sound, even if I don't like the messenger. That is all we ask. President Ruto, in accordance with the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, you are the President of the Republic of Kenya. This is the time when history calls upon leaders to rise above the parapet of partisan politics and to seize the opportunity to stabilize the ship of state. Don't think it underneath you to approach your adversaries. Do so for the sake of the Republic of Kenya, and history will remember you fondly. To Mzee Raila Amolo Odinga, history is beckoning you to be great. However aggrieved you are, there is a process which is prescribed by the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. That process did not make you the President of the Republic of Kenya. Rise up and do that which is right. Use your experience and influence to protect Kenya. Do not march on State House. Use constitutional means. To my fellow Kenyans, whichever side of the political divide you are on, remember that if this country is allowed to burn, it will take this generation and generations yet to be born to put it together if it can't be put together again. This is the moment when our patriotism must be given its pride of place. I beseech you, to those who are advisors of President Ruto, advise him to be a statesman. To those who are urging Mzee Raila Odinga to go on,